No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the tank review for the Tier 9 American Premium Heavy Tank, the Concept 1B. Now, this is a heavy tank that you can currently earn through the Action Heroes Seasons Reward Pass. And to me, it's a tank that's actually pretty damn decent. It's got one thing that holds it back, which is something that we seem to be saying a lot recently when it comes to new tanks, and that is the DPM. DPM holds it back. I'd say it's a pretty, because it has good features all round. I'd pretty much say it's a decent tank. It's teetering on being balanced. I think if it just had like an extra second off its reload, it'd be balanced and it'd be good generally. So, the Concept 1B. It's got 258 pen on its 110mm gun, which is different to a lot of other heavy tanks at the tier. They tend to have 120mm. This has 110. So it's got 258 APCR pen, which is fantastic. That means you can pen pretty much everything in the game, which is great. And then when you come against those annoying Japanese heavy tanks, which you can't pen with 260 pen, near enough, just load the 310 heat pen, and then you can deal with everything else generally in the game, which is great. This penetration is fantastic. You can deal with everything. 400 damage, which is standard for a tier 9 heavy for the most part, which is great. It means you can dish out damage pretty nicely. 1800 hit points as well. 1800 hit points is a good slab. You'll take quite a few hits before you go down, which is nice. One of the strengths of this vehicle is its 45 kilometers an hour top speed. The 45 kilometer an hour top speed is fantastic. It's a very quick tank. It means you can just get into those aggressive positions very, very easily and take advantage of that. And the fact that it's got a great hull down ability as well means you can get into those positions and just use the armor of the tank pretty effectively, which is great. It's quite a nimble heavy tank, which is very nice. It's got 400 meters view range, which means you're not blind, which is fantastic. Once you get down to about 370 meters view range, that's when you're starting to get to the point where you are a blind tank, and 400 is not near that at all. 400 meters is perfect. It's what you want. So that's great. So here we go. We get to the weakness of the tank, and the weakness of the tank is 4.41 rounds a minute. It's got a 13.6 base reload, which is, I believe, the worst out of the 400 alpha tanks. The 400 alpha damage tanks, I believe the only two that are near it is the AE Phase 1 at 13.5, and that's the same as the AMX M451. That reload is poor. It really sort of struggles sometimes to keep up with the fight, and it's the same with the MX M451 and the AE Phase 1. That reload is just poor, and if it had an extra second off the reload, it'd probably be okay. So 12.6, so then you'd be looking at being near 8-second reload, which would be pretty damn good for the heavy tank, and it would probably go with the sort of fast manoeuvring, brawling playstyle of the tank. But the reload at the minute is just a little bit too slow. It probably just needs upping a little bit. So 2.3 aim time as well, and 0.38 accuracy. Well, with the new crew skills, you get this aim time and accuracy down quite significantly. And to be honest, I've not had any problems with the gun handling whatsoever. The gun handling for me has been fantastic. The only times I've really missed has been poor shots by me. And yeah, generally the tank feels great in terms of its gun capacity of being able to hit those weak spots and stuff like that. So that's fine. That's a decent strength for the tank. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad. So yeah, 10 degrees of gun depression really, really helps it with its ability to go hull down. This tank wants to be hull down. It's very, very good at it, and that 10 degrees of gun depression really helps. Once you get into 8 to 10 degrees of gun depression on a heavy, well, not on a heavy tank, but on a tank in general, that just makes the tank really flexible and really good. And that's what this tank is. It's flexible because it can do a multitude of things. So turret armor, 250 turret armor frontally. That means it's fantastic when it's using its gun depression. It's fantastic frontally when you've got people just auto-aiming and firing at you. they will bounce off the turret quite easily. The turret armor is fantastic in my opinion. It's what I've sort of had great success with when you are hull down and stuff like that. It's mainly when you're using the gun depression is when it's absolutely fantastic. But when you're on a flat, it can also bounce stuff as well. It does have a cupola which can be penned, but it's kind of a tough target to hit, and the amount of times I've shot it at it myself and had shots absorbed is crazy. So yeah, 24 degrees traverse speed on the turret, which is that's about right for heavy tanks really. It doesn't keep up with the track traverse, which is 30 degrees a second. So when you turn the track, the turret will go with it sometimes, but you know, for the most part, it's pretty decent. It's not slow by any means. 400 meters view range, we've gone over, that's fantastic. 900 horsepower, which equals 20.64 horsepower per ton, which means that the tank really does get up to its top speed of 45 kilometers an hour. Really, really, really good. It really gets up to that top speed, and that means you can really take the aggressive positions very easily in this tank, and that is fantastic. 18 kilometers an hour reverse speed, which is again very good. Once you get, I'd say, once you get above 15 kilometers an hour, that's the point where it goes. This is getting good now. 18 to 20, that's really good. It means you can back out of trouble really quickly, and you're not stuck if you get too far advanced forward and you need to really back out of a situation. You're not stuck there for too long. 20% fire chance. I've been set on fire once or twice in this tank, but not too much really. But that means you could probably take the firefighting skills and stuff like that. So, let's have a look at the armour profile of the Concept 1B. Now, the upper plate is not very good. It tends to get penned by a lot of tier 8s, most tier 9s, and pretty much every tier 10. And if they are firing premium, most tier 8s with premium will pen you easily in the front. Most tier 9s, well, pretty much every tier 9, if they were firing premium, will pen you in the front, and the same with the tier 10s. It does kind of struggle in that way, that the tier lower than it can really butter its front. The lower plate is actually technically on a flat more effective than the upper plate. So when you actually come against these, sometimes it's better to shoot the upper plate. But the frontal armour here isn't what you want to be really shooting at. Well, it's not what you not what you want to be shooting at, but not what you want to be worrying about as a driver of this tank. Because you should note that this isn't very good, right? But when you want to be in the positions that are good, this tank, when it's using its gun depression and it's 10 degrees, this armour becomes very, very good. That becomes like auto ricochet angles for the most part. The turret is just amazing. If you see there, look how good that gun depression is, and then look how good this armour becomes. This lower plate will be covered, and the armour on the upper plate becomes fantastic, and that turret just becomes nigh on impenetrable, which is absolutely amazing. This is a hull down god. If you get it on those good positions where you can use the gun depression and shoot your opponents, it's absolutely great. And that's what's fantastic about this tank, and what I've really enjoyed using. Now, this cupola, like I say, can be penned, but the amount of times I've hit it and it's just been fully absorbed is crazy. So take note that you can aim for that if you're in a pinch, but it might not always go through, because as you see, it's got some weird angles and some weird values. One other thing that this tank is very good at, and that is side scraping. You're side scraping a corner like this, look, the tank is absolutely fantastic at baiting shots, bouncing shots off its side armour. It's one of those annoying side scrapers though, kind of like the Panzer 7, where it's good at it, but it has a random weak spot, which you'll be like bouncing shots for days thinking, oh, I'm doing fantastically. And then they'll just start penning like this back deck where the engine deck sticks out, or they'll just pen the cheek here. And this cheek is quite noticeable because it's just where the turret edge lines up with the chassis, so that's really quite easy to pen. So if you're shooting at these things in the side scraping and you take care to aim, shoot the cheeks, or just try and shoot this back engine bit here if it's glaring at you. And it's the same on the other side too as well, which means like that it's just a fairly easy pen on those weak spots. But like I say, generally it's a fantastic side scraper, and I've used this to great effect, and you'll see that in the replays coming up. But yeah, on the whole, Oh, that's a good point. The shell velocity is something you can't see at the minute, but hopefully they'll re-add that back in. It's got 1,478 meters a second shell velocity on its APCR, and 1,173 shell velocity on its heat, which is absolutely fantastic. That's great shell velocity for heat, and for APCR, that is amazing. I think that makes it one of the fastest shell velocity heavy tanks in the game as well, which is great. That really helps in terms of its accuracy and leading the target. More often than not, if you shoot it at good range, you'll hit tanks a lot easier in this tank than you will a lot of other tanks. So on the whole, this tank's quite a nice tank generally. And the amount of times I'll say tank in the sentence, this tank. It just needs a second or two off its DPM. But yeah, I'm going to go show you the garage bit, which will show you my crew skill loadout for it, what it can be down to effective values with having all the crew skills and the equipment and the such and the like. So I will see you in the garage. So here we are inside the garage, and we've got the Concept 1B with its skin that you get from the season pass. Now the skin I think is 3,000 gold to purchase, but obviously you can just earn it from the season pass, so it is a free skin. It looks okay. I don't mind this. The big knife on the end of the barrel is a bit odd, if you ask me, like a bayonet, but there we go. So, what do I run on the Concept 1B? Well, let's go into that. I run a rammer, or the advanced loader as it's called now, vents, and optics, because maxing everything with the vents by 5% is well worth it. Maxing the view range again, as always. I mean, you're not blind, you've got 440 meters view range, but 10% of that is always worthy. I mean, you could run vert stabs and drop the optics quite easily, because I mean, it's not, like I say, it's not blind, but if you get the good crew skills on here, and situational awareness and the optics and stuff like that, you can make this vision really, really good, and you won't get outspotted at all, which is always preferable. For me, at least, because I tend to take the really aggressive positions, so I never want to get outspotted. I want to be the one doing the spotting, which is why I tend to run stuff like optics over stuff like vert stabs nowadays. Obviously, back in the day, I would have run vert stabs every time, but with the amount of accuracy you can get on it from the crew skills and stuff like that, and from just running vents, I feel like the accuracy on the gun is good enough for me to just decide, you know what, I'm going to drop the stabilizer. So yeah, we run the advanced loader, improved vents, and the optics, and that's why. Obviously, we run the premium consumables, and that's purely because reusable ability. I don't want to run the single-use repair kits and that because, well, you don't get reusable consumables, and they save your life more often than you could think of. And food, obviously, yeah. You could drop the food and run fire extinguisher, a premium one, which would mean that you could free up a crew skill. But having that food boost, having the food boost to the crew skill and all that sort of stuff is really, really handy. So that's why I run food. So let's look at the commander loadout for this Concept 1B as well. In the concept, I run Born Leader, Rapid Loading, Sixth Sense, Trap Mechanic, Situational Awareness, Firefighting, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, and Snapshot. Now, the 6, as I've always said in many of my other reviews, these 6 perks here are ones that you are always going to run. Always, always, always. They are 6 slots that are always going to be filled with these perks. Firefighting, if you drop the fire extinguisher, you can run the firefighting. The reason I run the firefighting is because I don't like getting set on fire. It's a personal thing. I mean, you can quite easily drop it if you don't want to run firefighting and boost something else, quite easily do it. But I don't like it. If I'm going to get set on fire, I'd rather have it put out dead quick. And it does put it out noticeably quicker when you run firefighting, which is why I run it. That's why I ran it beforehand as well, because, like I said, when you get set on fire, it's always annoying that you burn for ages, whereas the firefighting puts it out. Obviously, you've got Steady Aim and Run and Gun and Snapshot, because making the gun, it's a heavy tank, making the gun as good as possible is the best thing you can do. So that's why I run these. And there's not many other perks generally on this tank that could be useful. So if you're going to drop something like Firefighting, you could be running Iron Mace to make the, because it's an APCR, remember, so it does get a lot more drop off on its pen than the AP. So Iron Mace could be handy. The turret traverse rapid aim, make it slightly quicker, so you're getting up towards the fact that you move the tank and the turret turns with it as well in time. You could do that quite easily. You know, you could have the armor angling skill to reduce the damage you take by 5%, which is always good, especially with the change to damage RNG. You could really lower someone's damage potential by a lot, and it'd save you a lot of hassle as well, which, yeah. But apart from that, there's not really much else you could take, unless maybe, say, you get Amarak and you feel like you get Amarak too much, you could take Stave Stowage as well. But yeah, that's my crew skill loadout for this tank, and that's the loadout I run in terms of equipment and things like that. And, you know, let's have a look at the effective values for this tank. So 5.44 rounds a minute is a hell of a lot better than what it was without any equipment and any crew skills. Still doesn't feel as that good compared to all the other guns that you can also get down, or get up, I should say, you know, quicken the rate of fire and stuff like that. Accuracy at 100 meters, 0.27. Again, that's just ridiculously accurate. So you do feel that, which is really nice. So that's good. And the view range is 466 meters with optics and situation awareness and food. I feel like, because Vents doesn't seem to move that at all. Vents should also increase your view range because it increases your crew skills and stuff like that. But at the minute, it seems to be a bug where it doesn't move it up or down. So take that numbers with a pinch of salt, because the Vents just doesn't seem to move the dynamic numbers. But yeah, 466 meters view range. It's probably a little bit more than that. But yeah, you'll never get out spotted. And yeah, that's that. So, as always, everybody, I'm going to send you over to the replays, and you can watch it, get a feel of it, a feel for the tank yourself, and you can make your mind up and go, that guy's talking a load of crap. I like that the looks of this tank. I'm going to get it. So I'll send you over to the replays and enjoy them. So here we are for the gameplay for the Concept 1B, and we're on Abbey. And this is quite a short game. I'm not alive for very long, but it shows what the capabilities of the tank are. So we're going to go to the heavy tank flank on the 1-2 line, and it's a place that you can get a little bit hull down. You can use the good gun depression of the tank, you can use some little ridge lines, but not just that, you can also side scrape, and it's a good place to go. Now, with the mobility of the tank, I could play it a bit more like a medium tank if I wanted to, and just rush the middle, and basically try and abuse some medium tanks and light tanks and things like that go up into the middle. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to go brawl like a heavy tank. I'm going to go try and help the heavy tank flank, and I'm going to be a helpful so-and-so. Because, I mean, like I say, this tank can brawl. If you get it in the right situations and you play it right, it can be good at what it does. Because, like I said, like you saw with the armor profile, the side scraping ability of this tank is great. It can pull it off very, very well if you keep wiggling and keep moving and don't let them get free shots at those little cheeks. It can also be very, very good when it's hull down, which is a bonus. So here we are, we're going to side scrape off this little bit here. We spot this T-44, slap the shot in. It wasn't fully aimed, but it went in anyway. And we're just going to side scrape off of this rock. Now this rock's perfect because it covers our little cheek as well, so the likelihood of them penning us from over there is quite unlikely. And I'm looking for the shot on the T-44, but I thought he was gone for a second. I thought he'd left, but he pokes out. And then we spot an STA2, and I was thinking, it's taken him a while. So I was going to go up the other way, but then the STA2 got spotted, and it was like, okay, there's another guy there. And then, for some reason, I lazily pulled around the corner, got kind of lucky that I bounced those two guys as shots. And then we pulled back into our side-scraping position. Now, we went for a shot on the M46 pattern and actually ended up hitting, I think it was the STA2 in the end, which is quite funny. But, hey, well, we slap another shot into the STA2. And it must not have been the STA2, it might be the T-44. We didn't actually hit that M46 pattern, we hit someone else. But here we go, we're side scraping. We are doing exactly what this tank wants to be doing. We're being wary of that STG on the left. And then the tortoise appears, and it's like, well, we're not going to turn down the tortoise at all. You know, the tortoise has that big fat cupola, it's easy to hit, and it's, you know, going to be easy to take out. So the STG gives us a free shot. It's like, okay then STG, I will pop a nice shot into you. I don't want your big gun hitting me. And he pulls back, and we're looking for more shots. So we get another shot into the cupola of the tortoise. And obviously the tortoise is one that we want to kind of get out of the way as quick as possible because it has immense DPM. and it would wreck us very, very quickly. And it's got quite an easy weak spot to hit as well, so it's quite easy to take out. So we're just going to keep farming him. I'm very worried at this point, because look how many tanks they have here right now. This is a mental amount. We've got most of the team in front of us. A lot of our team is still in the base, and the guys above me, I just need those guys that are behind me to hold out, so that basically I don't get rushed from the other side, because I'm helping to hold these guys back quite easily. We're still shooting at the tortoise. That's our first miss, and that was a poor shot. He finally pens us. I mean, we're blocked 1800 by now, and we're doing quite well. I'm nearly reloaded. I'm picking my target, so we're getting guns out of the game. There goes the STG. Unfortunately, the guys that were behind me have turned around to help me with this and let the other guys in behind them and kill them. And I'm right, okay, I need to just keep firing, keep going. And look, we're bouncing shots left, right, and centre because we're side-scraping. Only when they're finally getting chances to aim and I'm stationary are they actually penning me. We managed to shut down the tortoise because we're getting as many guns out of the game for my team as possible in that situation, and they finally shut us down, but only because they had the overwhelming numbers on that flank. It looked solid at one point, and then it started to degrade very, very quickly, that situation, and we did as much as we could to help the team. Unfortunately enough for us, they managed to carry it out to the end, and we finished that game with 4.2k damage, 2.7k blocks, first class sniper, high caliber, Spartan medal for surviving 10 ricochets in a row, or non-pens. And like I said, the tank's armour is pretty good when you get it in the right situations. You have to get it in those situations, though, to be able to make use of it. If you get caught out in the open, it will get penned, because the upper plate's trash, and the lower plate's not much better when it's slightly being aimed up at. And we're on to the second game, on Pilsen. And this spawn, I mean, to be honest, when it's these spawns in general, whether it be Assault or the random other two spawns that we get on this map can be good for this tank. If you get the normal spawns, not so much. But when you get the spawns where you've got these ridge lines to fight with, on our side and their side, it's good for the tank because you can use the good gun depression, you can go to the building in front of me and side scrape. It can be just generally nice for the tank to use. But what I've been doing recently on Assault for Pilsen, and we've got this flank, is pushing up to this building over here so that we can basically get shots down both flanks and we're not just sort of trapped to the ridge lines and become arty fodder. So we've come to this middle bit, we're boosting the DPM to get the food, so we've put the food in, getting the DPM boosted with it, just so we can try and get a shot at this light tank. And I didn't notice the camp panzer at first, and it's like, okay, hello. We managed to snap a shot all aimed into him, because he penned us on the move. And then we got this Aguila, or the HWK-30, shooting at us. Now, that is great modelling right there for you. You can see right through the gaps in between those pillars. You can't shoot through them. Annoying, but there you go. So we took the chance anyway. I mean, I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to shoot through it. I just wanted to do it and try it anyway, and it failed because, yeah, modelling. And then we get shot through that gap by the Kampfpanzer. That's a nice little shot from him. That's a nice little position he could get to shoot me. And yeah, we're currently brawling from two sides here. I've got things damaged. I really should repair the things that are damaged right now, but I'm not. We get a shot into him. We didn't pen him. I don't know why the number pen popped up. But we're just going to keep side scraping this guy. He's panicking, and we actually shut him down. And we're going to go around for this Kampfpanzer now. And again, I don't know why I'm not repairing. I have no idea why I'm not repairing right now. I should be repairing my stuff. It's kind of annoying watching it back. But we get lazy. We go and lazy tackle this guy, basically. We don't side scrape. We just pull our front right round the corner, give him an easy shot. We pen him, but he pens us. And now we're doing what the tank should be doing, which is side scraping. And now I've finally repaired what was dead and broken. And yeah, we're doing what the tank is built for. We're side scraping. And we are bouncing shots off this Kampfpanzer. This is how it should have been in the first place when I took that hit from him. I shouldn't have pulled around the corner, but that was just me being lazy. We spot the Kampfpanzer, the Concept 1B was looking at us, so we pull back round here. We track this Kampfpanzer as he came round. And I'm just going to side scrape this guy and try and get him off the board. As we look for a nice shot, straight through his drive wheel, bang, he's dead. And we're up to 2.5k damage. We've blocked 1700, like I say, just from side scraping and stuff like that. And we're going to go see if we can put some hurt into these guys over here. This T-32 is pouring his way across the other flank, so we get a nice shot into his side. And again, side scraping is what you want to be doing in this tank. It's what you want to be trying to do. It's what it's really good at, and like I say, it's as good at this as it is being hulled down, as long as they don't hit that cheek. And we're just going to keep bouncing shots from him and popping shots in where we can. We've left him on 70 hit points. Hopefully we'll get to finish him off. We're looking for that shot. Will it fly in? Of course it will, because the gun handling on this tank, like I say, as you've seen from both replays, has been very, very good. When I have missed, it's purely been down to the fact that I'm just terrible at aiming sometimes. We get a nice shot into the tracks of that stockade there. We're pinning him in place. We're not going to perma-track him because the reload isn't quite good enough. And he manages to get behind cover, unfortunately. And then we've got the 5120 over there, and we've got a 252U. So we're going to, on the move, pop a shot. And unfortunately, we don't pen it. I don't know why I auto-aimed a shot on the move at the defender, because it was never going to pen. But yeah, we missed him anyway. And we know where the stockade is. He's around this corner. He's right there. Unfortunately, the shot bounces off his upper plate. And we're just going to try and avoid getting shot by him. He's currently focusing on my friend, and he gets shut down. We didn't even reload in time to even get a shot at him anyway, because the Ragnarok got him. But can we get a shot at this artillery? Yes, we finish it off. But yeah, these two games show what the concept is good for, and that is its side-scraping ability, as well as it being good with its turret. It's a pretty solid tank. Like I say, the only downside to it is that reload a little bit. It just needs a little bit of work going up. But yeah, we finished that game with steel wall, high caliber, first class, 4.1k damage, nearly 1600 base. And the tank is far from bad. You can do a lot with it. It just needs a little bit of love on its DPM. So on the whole, it's okay, I think, anyway, personally. So yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.